I've been working on a version for quite some time now. I received a Christmas card from an Irish poet called Noel Monaghan. Noel sends a Christmas card every year, which usually has a charming rustic scene in County Cavan, where he lives, and a poem. And this time, must have been 6 years ago, he told me that he was working on a multimedia version of the story of The Madness of Sweeney, and would I care to do a Scottish Gaelic version? I didn't immediately, but I came back to it a couple of months afterwards, and I started translating this text from, I guess it's from the 12th century, and it's written in what you would call early modern Irish or late Middle Irish. So to an Irish speaker and reader, it's familiar enough, and yet not something that they would necessarily fully understand, myself being a case in point. The story is pretty well rehearsed in literature. It's been famously translated by Seamus Heaney in its entirety, but it's also attracted a lot of other Irish poets like Austin Clarke, Derek Mahon, Cathal Sharkey, John Montague, Matthew Sweeney. So in a sense, I'm taking a risk here, but I'm also just, in a way, I'm just doing what seemed natural thing to attempt. So I've used a form of translation which I call Sweeney's. And Sweeney's consists of taking a word in the original, in this case Irish, and representing all the elements which that word represents to an Irish speaker. But it's usually limited to one meaning in English translation. So I decided, well, why not represent all? And this is relating to a part early in the original text describing how Sweeney, who's essentially a petty king in Ulster, who is cursed and goes mad, or cursed on more than one occasion, but one of the occasions is as he's entering into the Battle of Moira, which has some historical evidence in that there was such a thing in the 7th century. And there was a king called Sweeney, or Sivna, involved in this battle. The historicity of Sweeney is pretty doubtful apart from that, as is the date of composition and the composer. I'd love to know who wrote, or I'd love to know how many writers and who they wrote the work of Sweeney. I don't suppose we'll ever know. This is a description of him entering battle. He was decorated like this: a filmy tulle silk alb shirt next to his bright white handsome body skin, and a royal satin loin kilt around it, Congal had made for a sovereign and gave him at the Battle of Moira that day for overthrowing the army of L.L. Phelan, Olive of Keady, from the McQueen collection. And a lilac purple inner tunic layer, covered with warp close strip selvage well plate woven, with delight beautiful finned rinny gold burnished, in layers of dear smooth gemstones, of carbuncle scab mesh husk in layers from one end of that strip selvage to the other, with arch billow loops of silk velveteen over smooth shining stud bead buttons to rally dam close and open it, and a glebe cutting trout speckling variegation of all white bright money silver, every which way and every haven journey way pass he went, and a needle narrow spear point hard on that inner lay tunic, 2 exceedingly long, broad flat surface splinter spears in his hands, a speckled trout pox yellow buffalo horn bugle, corniculated wing shield on his top vine back, and a fist golden glaive sword on his left chest side,